While Western media was consumed by the aggressive price wars between Tesla and Chinese EV makers, a game-changing decision was quietly authorized inside Japan's Ministry of Economy in Tokyo. No flashy media events, no overhyped teasers. Toyota officially secured government backing to move its solid-state battery technology into real-world production. For years, critics claimed Toyota was lagging behind in the EV transition. But what if that apparent delay wasn't a struggle at all, but a carefully timed long-term strategy? By quietly relying on batteries from its rival BYD to cover short-term EV demands, while harvesting record cash flow from its hybrid lineup, Toyota has been setting up a calculated two-phase maneuver. They stepped away from the cash-burning race of today to preserve their power for a massive generational leap tomorrow. Is this a high-stakes gamble? Or has the Japanese automaker laid a strategic trap to quietly reset the entire EV market on its own terms? And more importantly, how is a technology once thought impossible now preparing to hit the road much sooner than expected? Let's break it down. Chapter 2. Is Toyota really behind in EVs? The EV delay myth. Toyota hasn't been ignoring electric vehicles. In the first half of 2026, Toyota and Lexus sold roughly 193,000 BEVs worldwide, up about 135% from the same period a year earlier. That's real fast growth. But zoom out. Toyota and Lexus moved over 5 million vehicles total in that same stretch, which means BEVs were still under 4% of everything the company sold. Toyota remains overwhelmingly a hybrid and combustion company that happens to be scaling EVs fast, not the other way around. That scale is the whole point. Toyota moves more than 10 million vehicles a year across its brands. A company operating at that size doesn't need to bet the entire business on one battery chemistry, one charging standard, or one generation of technology. It can treat BEVs as one lane in a much wider highway, while a pure EV competitor has no other lane to fall back on if that bet slips. And that wider highway matters because today's EV race has a brutal contradiction baked into it. Every year, batteries need to get bigger, faster charging, and more advanced. And every year, customers expect the sticker price to drop. Lower prices, bigger packs, faster charging, better software, aggressive financing, constant refresh cycles. The list of things automakers have to compete on keeps growing, and every item on it costs money. The technology gets more expensive to improve at the exact moment the market demands it get cheaper. That's the trap Tesla, BYD, and a dozen legacy automakers are currently fighting inside of. And it's a trap that rewards whoever can outspend everyone else the longest. Toyota's answer wasn't to win that fight. It was to avoid making it the only fight worth having. The company kept developing liquid electrolyte batteries, LFP, high-performance lithium-ion bipolar designs with several of those due for commercial rollout between 2026 and 2028. It didn't walk away from current battery tech. It just refused to let current battery tech be its only bet. Chapter 3. Why Toyota uses BYD's batteries. The BYD partnership. Here's where it gets interesting. Toyota's China market BZ3 runs on an LFP lithium-ion battery supplied by BYD. Yes, that BYD, one of Toyota's most aggressive global competitors. Toyota describes the BZ3 system as combining BYD's LFP battery with its own electrification engineering. The two companies went further and formed a joint venture BYD Toyota EV Technology Co., building a direct pipeline between Japan's biggest automaker and China's dominant EV supply chain. Building that battery expertise in-house would have meant more factories, more R&D spending, and years of delay while getting dragged deeper into China's brutal price war. Instead, Toyota borrowed what BYD already had perfected: mature LFP chemistry, massive scale, rock-bottom costs, and used it to stay relevant in the market Toyota wasn't ready to win on its own terms. That's the real strategy. Use Chinese battery technology where it's already strong. Keep developing Toyota's own chemistry in parallel and save the biggest technological swing for the next generation. BYD hands Toyota a weapon for today's war. Toyota is quietly building its own weapon for tomorrow's hybrid profits. Chapter 4. How hybrids fund Toyota's future. None of this works without cash, and Toyota has an enormous amount of it, largely thanks to hybrids. In the first half of 2023, Toyota and Lexus sold about 2.7 million electrified vehicles when you combine hybrids, plug-ins, and BEVs, more than half of everything the brand sold globally and a record for the company. Hybrids are still the overwhelming majority of that number, which means Toyota's so-called old technology is quietly running at an annualized pace north of 5 million electrified vehicles a year, a scale most EV competitors can only dream about. While rivals have to manufacture EV demand through aggressive discounting, Toyota already has millions of customers voluntarily paying full price for electrified vehicles. That gives Toyota something almost nobody else racing towards solid-state batteries has: the ability to fund next-generation R&D, expand production capacity, and keep developing BEVs without needing the future battery to generate revenue today. The current lineup already does that job. Chapter 5. Solid-state batteries, 10-minute charging. Solidate specs. So what is Toyota actually building? A conventional lithium-ion battery moves ions through a liquid electrolyte. Toyota and Idemitsu's all-solid-state design replaces that liquid with a solid sulfide-based electrolyte. On paper, that swap unlocks faster ion movement, higher power output, a smaller physical footprint, better heat tolerance, quicker charging, and meaningfully higher energy density. The numbers Toyota has put on this are aggressive. Its next-generation liquid lithium-ion performance battery, expected around 2026, targets roughly 1,000 kilometers, about 620 miles of range, with a 10% to 80% charge in around 20 minutes. The first generation of all solid-state batteries is targeting roughly 20% more range than that, pushing toward 200 kilometers or about 745 mi, with a 10% to 80% charge in around 10 minutes. And Toyota is separately researching a higher spec version, aiming for as much as 50% more range than the performance battery, theoretically approaching 1,500 kilometers or roughly 930 miles. Worth being clear here, these are Toyota's own targeted cruising range figures, not US EPA ratings. And part of the gain is expected to come from aerodynamics and weight savings, not battery chemistry alone. Chapter 6. The real manufacturing challenges. Production realities. Proving a battery works in a lab and mass, producing it profitably, are two completely different problems. And this is where Toyota's industrial partnerships matter most. Toyota and Idemitsu have worked on solid-state materials together since 2013. Their breakthrough was solving cracking, the way electrode materials fracture during repeated charge-discharge cycles, by developing a flexible, crack-resistant solid electrolyte. Their remaining challenge isn't chemistry anymore. It's cost, raw material supply, and manufacturing at scale, with a commercialization target still sitting at 2027-2028. Then there's the piece that gets far less attention. In October 2025, Toyota and Sumitomo Metal Mining agreed to jointly develop a durable cathode material built specifically for all solid-state batteries, one designed to resist degradation over repeated cycles. Put the pieces together and Japan is quietly assembling a full domestic battery supply chain. Idemitsu on the solid electrolyte, Sumitomo Metal Mining on the cathode, and Toyota handling engineering, manufacturing, and vehicle integration. That's not a lab project anymore. That's the skeleton of an industry. The obstacles are still real, though, and they fall into three buckets. Cost is the obvious one. Early solid-state production is expected to run dramatically more expensive than mature liquid lithium-ion manufacturing. And Toyota and Idemitsu both name cost and quality directly as the challenges standing between them and mass production. Precision and yield is the second. Solid-state cells demand extremely thin, extremely uniform layers manufactured at high speed. And even a small defect can wreck a cell's performance or tank an entire production run. That gap between "we built a working prototype and we can profitably manufacture hundreds of thousands of these a year" is enormous, and it's where more than one battery technology has stalled out in the past. And while Toyota says its work with Idemitsu has produced a more crack-resistant material, durability at scale is still something that has to be proven in the real world, not just the lab. Chapter 7. Why Lexus gets solid state first, 2027 to 2028. The Lexus launch. Given all that, Toyota isn't launching solid-state batteries in an economy hatchback. The plan is a top-down rollout. Prove the technology in premium vehicles first, where high prices can absorb expensive batteries and limited early yields, then push it down market once production scales and costs fall. That's the same pattern nearly every major automotive technology has followed. Luxury first, scale second, mass market last. A $100,000 Halo Lexus doesn't need solid-state batteries to beat a BYD on price. It just needs to deliver, something a BYD can't touch. Once yields improve, raw material supply expands, solid electrolyte manufacturing scales up, and factories get more automated. The cost curve starts bending the other way, and that's when Toyota can start pushing the technology toward mainstream models. It's a slower path than a headline-grabbing product launch, but it's also a more durable one because it lets Toyota work the manufacturing kinks out on vehicles where a mistake costs a recall, not a brand. Chapter 8. Final verdict. Would you wait for Lexus? The final verdict. Toyota never lost the EV race. It refused to fight the early rounds on someone else's terms. It kept selling hybrids while Tesla pushed BEVs mainstream. It borrowed BYD's battery when it needed an affordable bridge into China. It kept developing its own liquid chemistry in parallel. It banked the cash. It partnered with Idemitsu. It partnered with Sumitomo Metal Mining. And through it all, Toyota kept chipping away at the hardest problem in battery engineering: building solid-state cells at automotive scale. Boil the whole strategy down and its three moves. Borrow proven technology today. Let hybrids fund the transition. Use solid state to reset the benchmark tomorrow, measured quarter to quarter. Or would you buy a conventional lithium-ion EV today and take the win you can get right now? Drop your answer in the comments because I want to see who's actually willing to wait this one out. If you want the next breakdown the moment it drops, this channel is covering every major battery and business strategy shaking up the global auto industry. Hit subscribe now, and next up, we're digging into the Chinese battery giant racing to beat Toyota to market. You won't want to miss that one.